Suella Braverman's political manoeuvres are a masterclass, really, in desperate headline grabbing. Her latest escapades include playing cheerleader or poodle for Donald Trump, dangling the idea of a Tory reform merger, and cozying up to, and then critiquing and then criticising Nigel Farage. I don't really know what she thinks she's playing at, except just trying to keep some sort of relevance. And I think she's somebody who ought to recognise that her time has gone. And the narrative that she's projecting is less a strategic vision and more a chaotic scramble to stay in a spotlight of her making. Her suggestion that the Conservatives form an alliance with Reform UK reeks of desperation, declaring there isn't space in British politics for two Conservative parties, there isn't space in British politics for her. And it sounds less like a unifying strategy and more like a preemptive admission of the Conservative Party's electoral frailty and failure. And Braverman praised Farage's politics, flirted with defection, and even pointed to her husband's Reform membership as proof of political synergy. Yet in the same breath, she then scolds her Tory colleagues for attacking Reform voters, displaying an erratic mix of reverence and rebellion. And her Washington trip for Trump's inauguration underscores her affinity with chaos. Sporting a MAGA hat like Liz Truss, she's channeling Liz Truss. Sharing a flight with Lawrence Fox, she described Trump as the anti-establishment people's warrior and gushed over his unfiltered conservatism. Braverman's call for the Tories to mimic Trump's anti-woke policies, from pulling out of the WHO to rejecting net zero, feels less like ideology and more like opportunism, aligning herself with a polarising figure to court attention. Her soundbites were as calculated as they were clumsy, calling the Office for Budget Responsibility anti-growth and multiculturalism a failure. Braverman is clearly attempting to embody the radical disruptor image, yet her comments undermine her credibility, referring to Labour's Keir Starmer as an idiot and lamenting vanilla centralism within her party. She alienates potential allies while courting controversy. She just wants headlines. I think if she were doing YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, we would say this was clickbait. Her antics are emblematic of a politician prioritising personal relevance over coherent strategy. And her moves hint at ambitions beyond the Conservative Party, perhaps as a rallying figure for a fragmented right. However, her inconsistent messaging, criticising Farage one day, praising him the next, betrays a lack of direction. Ultimately, she's not leading a movement, she's chasing headlines, she's chasing her own tail, she's leaving behind confusion and a growing sense that her political legacy will be one of spectacle and absurdity, not substance.